Hi, this is Lisa from the Bell Rays. You are listening to Kev Lobotomi on PBS 106.7 FM.
Listen to them. They are the children of the night. I bid you welcome.
Yeah, a bit of howling going on there. Vampire or werewolf? That's the question. That was from the Lethal in Leather LP from the DollSquad. We'll be talking to a couple of DollSquadettes in just a minute. We do have two members of DollSquad. We have Joey.
Hi, Kev.
And Yolanda.
Hi, Kev.
How you going?
Good. Awesome, in fact.
Excellent. What have you girls been up to? You've been overseas, I do believe. Is that right?
Yeah. We went to Europe in May for a whole month and played just about every night of the week. Headlined 2 festivals over there, which was absolutely amazing. Had a really, really good time on tour with the band.
Okay. What countries did you visit?
Where did we go?
That's a really good question.
Where did we go?
I think we hit up about 9 countries in
We went
5 weeks.
Yeah, Spain, Italy, Germany, Czech Republic, France, Switzerland. The rest of it's a blur. I think that's about it. Something like that.
I hate to say this, Yolanda, but I thought I'd tested the mic, but your mic isn't actually working. So if you want to move over to Joey's mic,
Let's share the mic.
Get in nice and
just
close.
like on stage.
I thought it was working,
Just like
but
on stage.
Joey must have been so loud that it actually reverberated into the other one.
Well, there you
That's
go.
what the engineer said when we were recording Lethal in Leather.
She's got a very powerful voice, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, you do sound quiet sometimes, but yeah.
Well, she's got a pretty flexible repertoire, but she does have a pretty mean growl.
Okay. So that they love you in Europe, do they?
Yeah, they did. We were welcomed very, very warmly.
Telling people about Europe is almost like telling them about the Shangri-La. It's just such an amazing place to go and tour. It almost sounds like it's too good to be true, and you're treated like a royalty wherever you go, and the crowds are really appreciative and they're really interested in the types of music that you're interested in. There was a point when we were at the Iguana Bar in Spain, and this young guy started talking to me about the Meanies.
Oh, right.
And that was a real shock for me. When I was 15, I was listening to the Meanies. To see this kid from Spain nowadays, he probably wouldn't have been older than 16, 17. That interested in Australian music, it was amazing. It was really great.
Cool. I love Australian bands. We're all very, very well treated over there. I got what was that happening in France? That some guy threw his underpants on stage.
A couple of guys threw their underpants on stage, if I recall.
I scored a fez. Someone threw a fez on stage. Yeah, we.
As long as the undies
scored a
weren't
few
dirty,
good things.
that's
But unfortunately, Ash, our drummer, lost her drum stool, and we don't know who is sniffing that now in France. But it was very hard to replace. Took us about 5 goes through various music stores throughout Europe to get that replaced. But it was quite strange.
Well, I mean, so how did you get around? Did you drive around?
Oh, we had drivers and vans and the whole sort of convoy.
You had drivers?
Yeah, we had drivers.
We had 2 female.
We can't drive ourselves.
No, we had 2 female drivers, so that was amazing getting to have women very safe on the road. And then we had one lovely young guy called Nestor.
That's right.
In Spain.
We did.
And he was
broke his ankle or something the first night of the tour, and we just thought, oh no. But he ended up being okay. He was on crutches, and he still drove the van and helped us with the gear and everything.
Hopefully it wasn't his left foot. Actually, no, it'd be the other way around there, wouldn't it?
It was his left foot, I think. Yeah. He was still driving. I think it was an automatic.
Oh, that's good.
He was pretty committed.
I hope it was an automatic. I was wondering why we're on the right side of the road. But yeah, no, it was really good. It was just a great tour, and it was really good to be there the second time round. A lot of people actually came to see the band from the first time round and actually had really old merch that they went, oh, we bought this in 2006. Could you please sign it because we couldn't get to meet you then? And that was just heartfelt. I just thought that is so cool. And what about all the bands we played with, all the great bands we played with? That was just awesome. The scenes over there are just so much more intense than they are here, just because of the number of people that live in Europe. It's a lot different. When they have like a rockabilly kind of festival, there's 2,500 people there, and it's massive. And the stage was so big. Yolanda was like 3 meters away from me. It was just amazing. We felt like Aerosmith or something.
That was a real blast. But also, I guess, just the sort of the knowledge of Australian music, and also going to these sorts of festivals, and people actually know you and they sing along with your songs.
Yes, and that was a shock that wanted us to model her T-shirts. She wanted DollSquad to be her kind of emblematic sort of thing about her T-shirts. She gave us all a T-shirt each. They're fair trade kind of T-shirts and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, she was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I've met the band. It's like,
yeah, and that's
wow.
a woman who specifically went to the festival to meet us. That was even crazier.
And she had a stall there. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I mean, what are the bands like that played with you? I mean, I guess you might have played with bigger bands, but what about the smaller bands? Were they good quality?
Our favourite, and I think I speak for Yolanda, our favourite was the X-Ray Harpoons from Germany. This really young band, very 60s garage, very, very, niche-driven band, but really, really fantastic. The young guy, the singer played the theremin and did some really good mic tricks as well, and they were great. They did a lot of we did a lot of 60s garage covers that night because it was a kind of a 60s kind of party in Cologne, and they did a few that we did, so it was quite funny. Really? to hear the 2 different renditions of the songs.
Yeah, and the Fortune Tellers are another great band from Sweden that we got to meet, and we're lucky enough to see at Summer Safari and befriended, and Joey took them off to the Beatles Museum.
That was awesome. And the guy was so overwhelmed by us coming to visit the Beatles Museum looking so full on 60s that he let us sit in all the exhibits and take photos. It was awesome. It was so good.
So needless to say, it was beehives, fake eyelashes and leather the whole time.
Yeah. But of course, none of it would have happened if Steve hadn't have, got it all organised and happening for us. And he was just a gem, our man on the ground that was so reliable to get it all happening for us. And when you get there and everything's working to plan, you just think, wow, that's awesome, because rock and roll doesn't have to be chaotic. It can be actually well planned and work properly. It was awesome. So kudos to Steve for doing that for us. Hi, Steve.
Occasionally it felt like we were members of Charlie's Angels, getting this disembodied voice from Australia going, DollSquad, it's Steve. Can you get somewhere private?
Yeah, it was a bit like that. It was kind of funny.
We'd sit around on the speakerphone like super agents and listen to directions
It
from
was
head
funny.
office. It was great fun.
Yeah,
and it just
really
made you
good
feel
fun.
really secure knowing that someone's out there watching your back.
Okay. Did you do any radio interviews in Europe?
We didn't do any radio interviews, but we had a lot of newspaper articles and a lot of press, especially in Spain. Like I've got about 6 or 8 clippings, and we only played like 10 shows there. So yeah, that was awesome. You know, photos and everything. It was great. It was really good.
You must have felt like real rock stars.
Yes, we felt like bona fide rock and rollers.
I guess that's really
for
different to
sure.
here, because I mean, you see bands that just play and they play for the love of it, and I don't know what it is, but we don't seem to have the punters that they have in Europe. Is that the difference, you think?
Well, I think the good news is for a lot of bands that are out there playing their own music and forging their own path ahead, there is an audience for you that will appreciate you as an artist, and that is Europe. So the rumours, as far as I can say, are true. Do whatever you can to forge a following in an Australian market. Stick to your guns and enjoy doing what you believe in, but really truthfully look towards going overseas and having a go at getting over there, because it's really, really, really rewarding.
I think it's more like, I guess, a cultural difference. Like, I mean, I'm European. My parents escaped from a communist country and came to Australia, but I noticed it as a young child that there is a difference in terms of the way people embrace friendship and the way people embrace the things they love, including music, including bands. They're a lot more fanatic over there, and they're not afraid to look like a dog out the front going yes to their favourite band. In Australia, we're just a little bit too cool for school, I think. I mean, that's all right. You know, that's groovy, whatever floats your boat, baby. But as a performer, I prefer the first option as opposed to the later option. And as a punter, I also prefer the first option, because I don't want to be the only one out the front there going, yeah, encore, which I normally am in Australia. So yeah, it's very different cultural thing where they do just really get into it and are not afraid about who's watching.
Yeah, there's many gigs I've been to where you look at the band, you think they're great, and then you look at the audience and you realise that they're all people in other bands.
Yeah,
So,
well,
I mean,
that happens a lot in Australia. Yeah, all your friends are in bands, whereas in Europe, no one's in a band.
yeah.
No one you meet is in a band. The audiences are true punters for this. They just love music. They can't play a note, don't even know which end of the guitar to pick up. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe the critics aren't as harsh. I don't know, but it is a lot more fun to play there. Although we've had some awesome shows in Australia, like the Stray Cats thing we played at the Forum. That was awesome. You know, we've played with some really good bands in Australia as well. So it's kind of, sometimes it depends on the show. Sometimes it depends on, you know, the night of the week, whatever, you know.
Excellent. Well, what are you girls up to now? Like, you got a gig happening this weekend?
Yes, we do, Kev. We've got a show at Red Benny's on Friday, which is our first show back since we've been overseas. So we're really primed and raring to go.
Okay, where is
Yeah.
Red Benny's?
Red Benny's is on Chapel Street. I think it's 373 Chapel Street.
Yeah, it's just before High Street, so if you're heading down, you'll probably, if you've ever been to Chapel Street late of a night, you'll know where the Red Rooster is, and it's very close to that. So if you can dodge the disco
Red
goers,
Benny's, Red Benny's, Red Rooster.
that'll be the safe haven for you on Chapel Street on Friday night.
Yeah. And there's also burlesque acts, and I think Vesper White is playing, and there's a trapeze act during some of our songs, and Go-Go Girls as well.
It's part of the Route 66 thing too, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Red 66 are promoting it. I think we're actually the first band to ever play at Red Benny's or something, unless I got my wires crossed. I think they've only just opened it up to bands just to see how it goes, and they invited us to play the first sort of band
That
night
said-
there. Yeah.
That said, Route 66 gigs are always really reliably good, and everyone that I've ever been to has had gorgeous people dressed up and raring to
the
go.
Wolf Call ones are great, so this is kind of along the lines of the Wolf Call kind of thing, so yeah.
It is actually 373 Chapel Street in South Yarra.
There it is, got it right. What a memory for
Now you got
numbers.
DJs Electric Mudcat and Vince Peach.
Correct. And Ross, I think, from Route 66. I
Yeah.
think. I don't know.
Doesn't say that here.
Am I
but-
giving something away I shouldn't be? I don't know.
Was it the Tanker Rays? Who are they?
I don't know.
And Vesper White and
The
Vez.
Tanquerays are a go-go troupe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that should be a lot of fun.
But yeah, it kicks off at 8 o'clock, and I think they've got some sort of a discounted entry if you get there at 8. and I think cheap drinks or something before a certain time or something like that. The usual.
And when do you come on?
I think we're on at 9:30.
Okay, so very
We're
early.
doing 2 sets, so
you
we're
could
going to
probably-
be kind of on and then off and then on again.
So you could probably see the DollSquad and then afterwards go somewhere else if you wanted.
You could, or you could stick around for the burlesque act.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what's
sure
after
that's
us
really
or
good.
between us.
Excellent. Like, you got this album which you put out just recently, Lethal in the Leather. Any line coming up, or you just...
Well, we're pretty much just solidly sort of, promoting that record, for lack of a better word. We've got another EP coming out on a German label pretty shortly, and that's an EP off the album. And we've got another EP coming out, which is kind of half an EP off the album and half a new song that we've actually been working on for a while. Yolanda and I's a song called Hot Rod Holden, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, well, I might play another track before we head off. What do you reckon we should play?
Oh, I don't know. What do you reckon, y'all?
Let's try Bad Word.
Bad Word for a good thing.
I reckon we should try Dreaming.
All right.
Dreaming, which one's that? That's number...
Track 9.
Track 9.
Yeah, let's get
We're
that
so
apart.
totally together here at PBS. Anyway, here it is. Thanks for coming in. See you girls later.
Cheers, Kev.
See you.
Bye, Kev.
Bye. See you later.
Love comes easy, yes it does. Then it slips away twice as fast. You wanna call me on the telephone, but then you don't because I'm not alone. Love comes easy, yes.
By a man who grabbed her handbag and ran off.